All right, hello, I am Mr. Rogers.
And I'm Mrs. Froman.
And these are the video notes for section 3-1 in your books. We're on vertebrates. So all of our phylums so far have been invertebrates, all those different arthropods, mollusks, echinoderms, even go back to like cnidarians, those very simple ones. They had no backbone. So now, vertebrates, think of animals. I think most people think of vertebrate animals with a backbone there. So what does it mean? If you're a vertebrate animal, if you're in this phylum of living things, what does it mean? It means, where that phylum, it's chordata is actually the name of the phylum. So at some point in their lives, they all have what's called a notochord, or a flexible rod that supports the back. And so in vertebrates, the notochord is replaced by a backbone, or cartilage, as it develops. So
So all of them have a nerve cord that runs down the back. So that's spinal cord is what we call it.
Yeah.
And at some point in their lives, they all have something called pharyngeal slits. And those turn into gills if it's a fish, or some amphibians turns into gills. Or they disappear before you're actually born, which is what happens in the case of like humans and most mammals.
I had gills at one point in my development there inside the room.
Yeah, little slits in your neck, and they closed up and
moved on. Which is kind of where we've showed before pictures of animals' development. In that early stage, they look very similar. So we've all had them. They've all just kind of disappeared as we developed in the womb there as humans. So kind of weird to think about. We've all had them though. Yep. So now the backbone. So the vertebrate animals actually have a backbone. It's formed by the vertebra, which fit together in a row. So you can see like many fit together in a row. There'd be two of them fitting together. And depending how big you are, obviously depends on how big each vertebrae is.
This would be a deer.
So that's a fairly large one, yeah. As a whole for that spinal cord to pass through in the middle there. So it's pretty thick that runs down the back of animals.
So animals have, or vertebrates have, an endoskeleton. So that means we have an internal skeleton that gives us support, protection, and shape. Gives muscles a place to attach to, so we can actually move our arms and our legs. The skull's job, of course, is to protect the brain. The ribs are protecting the heart and the lungs. And the nice thing is that the skeleton grows as you grow, so you don't have to go
shed or
molt in the bathroom or something. So.
All right. So some characteristics of vertebrates. Some can't control their body temperature. We call those ectotherms. So ectotherms, again, they can't produce their own body heat. Their body temperature is dependent on the environment, what's outside. So this is why you don't see many amphibians, reptiles out in the wintertime around here, because it's just way too cold. They just can't, their temperature would be way too low to do anything. So that's why you see them a lot of times sunning themselves on rocks, on logs, even in the summertime, to gain heat, to get that metabolism working so they can hunt and look for food.
So an endotherm is when the body controls and regulates its own internal heat. The body temperature stays the same all the time. They either have furs or feathers to help keep that body temperature constant, so it keeps them warm, and then they sweat when it's hot. So it's mammals and birds mainly that's what this happens.
Not all mammals, right? Like my dog doesn't sweat the way we do. It kind of pants.
Right, they have different ways of cooling down. Yeah, most
systems.
birds don't sweat either. So
we think of humans, we have that ability to kind of really shed that water. So our early vertebrates, how long have vertebrate animals been around on Earth? So first appearing, or according to fossil records mostly, about 530 million years ago. So we started seeing these vertebrate, mostly fish, these jawless fish actually. So even like a lamprey, or those, looks like a sucker fish, they'll latch on to be parasites. They don't have a jaw, it's much more of a big old circle disc there for a mouth, and you can see where the esophagus would be right there. So no jaws. And also they don't have scales, they have much more of like a leathery skin to it.
Slimy.
All right, so 7th grade, we're going to stop there for vertebrates. Our next stop will be, speaking of jawless fish, will be fish.
Yep.
And we'll see you guys along the way.
Bye.